Buddhism says that the person is not just one label. It's not just Kevin, it's not just UCI, it's not just boyfriend, learn, pizza, basketball. It's not one thing. But it's many things that come together. And a very simple way of looking at it, this is not the only way, this is one of the lists that we use very commonly. We have form, feeling.
I mentioned this last week.
Briefly. Feelings. Cool.
Perception.
Yeah, I'm missing a letter, don't care. Perception, form, feelings,
Close.
perception,
Volition.
mental formation, or volition.
Hard to go from Chinese to English.
I know. I always have to translate in my head too. Okay, consciousness, I'm just going to spell mind. I don't remember how to spell it. Okay.
That's good.
And only one. Anybody else speak Chinese? Read Chinese?
It's a different character, though.
Yeah, I know.
Mine is.
Because it's different. It's consciousness, right? So when we talk about you in Buddhism, we're talking about more than just one thing. A lot of times we define ourselves as one thing, just as one thing is going to make me happy. You know, one of things that come together, and just as you start to see that inside, little by little outside, you are more than just by yourself. You are not amounted unto yourself. You are dependent and in a relationship with everything else around you. How many of you have friends? How many of you have parents? Cousins, siblings, boss, teachers, walk on the planet Earth, breathe air. You're all in a relationship. You're affected by everything else around you. One thing that we see is we see ourselves disconnected from everything else around us. See, one nice thing about Buddhism is the more you practice, the less lonely you are. There's no such thing as loneliness in Buddhism. You're never alone. If you really look at it, you're always in a relationship. You're always interconnected to everything around you. You know? It's little things that help to bring us in life. Right? Now, why did I say to you that suffering is my best friend? Well, see, if I want to know what happiness is, you know, what is it that most of us are looking for? We're looking for this. Right? We're looking for happiness. What's the opposite of happiness? Sure. What's wisdom? What's the opposite of wisdom? Basic principle. It's something that you can take on later on in your life. You know? And why do we have this Visa Lemsi here? Because there's many things within Buddhism that we can use to change our lives. Meditation, following the precepts. There's so many different techniques in Buddhism that we can use to transform our life. You know? And Dukkha is a wonderful place to start. Think of for a second some kind of dukkha that you have in your life. Some kind of suffering, some kind of difficulty. You know? It's a challenge for you. See, when we talk about the mind has many levels. I'm not going to go into all of that. But there's one level of mind that I do want you to start looking at, because that's going to help if you want to use this as a key to your daily life. And that is
The intention?
Yeah.
Motivation. T-I-V-A-T-I-O-N.
Thank you. Motivation. What is the motivation behind all of your thoughts? What motivates you? What is your intention? It's not just thought, then action. No, there's thought, and this thought has an extra level of energy in it, and it's motivation. There's an intention why we do things. We're going to start creating more negative habits that end up into a whole lot more suffering. What are the three poisons? Pride, ignorance. How do you spell it? There's no D in it.
IGNOI.
Oh, I don't care. The three poisons are pride, ignorance, and greed. Now, sometimes we can think, I'm not greedy. You know, I don't try to get $1 million bucks. We're not talking about that type of greed.
Pride, or is like anger or
Ego.
anger?
Pride.
So
Pride that leads into anger.
Oh,
Tendency.
because usually like it's anger or hatred.
Right.
I've never heard pride.
Pride, anger, or hatred, sure. The pride of the ego, right? Greed. There's so many kinds of greed. You know, I want the nicest thing. I deserve this. And just that sentence already starts off with something that's not right. We make this very big. Future, where you become successful, pass the MCATs, get into the best whatever, and that past that you don't regret, where do you need to live? Where do you need to make changes?
Now.
Now. Because that's all you have. The only true experience is the experience of yourself. The only true experience of time is this moment. That doesn't mean you don't plan for the future. That doesn't mean that you just forget about everything. No, because if you do that, you're going to screw up that future. You're not going to have that better life. You're not going to find that happiness. But if you live mindfully now and add all of those different things that we talk about, kindness, compassion, wisdom, equanimity, all those things, and put them into practice now, you transform that life. You plug into the Eightfold Path and you plug into your problems and you change them. You yourself change your path, your life. There's no fate in Buddhism. There's no predetermination. You're a blank slate. Your life is yours to create it or yours to mess it up. Don't come talking to factory after that.